Hello guys, my name is Carlos White. I'll be presenting to you today MA number 2 Revisions screencast. My word to remember or use is leader, and that's what this whole paper is about today. I made a previous recording that had all the little details that I revised, and I forgot to screencast it, so forgive me. I'll try to run back over the whole essay and remember where I made those revisions. So once again, I won't be making any revisions unless I see any, of course, but there shouldn't be any. So with that said, let's get started. There are a myriad, well, I have the title right here, Leader. There are a myriad of important words and phrases to remember in one's life. Through trials and tribulations, some are learned while others, on the other hand, are taught. My father has influenced my perspective on life immensely. In my opinion, whether it be taught in the early years of a toddler, or interpersonally said, that's what I had in between these two words. I took that out to make this sentence more cleaner and connect better. Interpersonally throughout one's life. The word leader should be remembered because it builds positive leadership skills. Let me highlight this for you. Positive leadership skills, character traits, influential power, and can inspire peers in any given situation. Now, I'm going to go into detail with these 3 points, but these are my thesis points, and this is my counter argument right here. However, when the word leader is used for a negative purpose, it may lead to destruction and chaos therefore making the word irrelevant. Every morning upon my arrival to my former elementary school, my father would always preach. Now, I was recommended to take this out. I'm going to go ahead and take that out just to make it connect. My father would preach one word that resonates with me most through my life. And the reason why I say resonates instead of resonated is because it pertains to everyone today, doing whatever they're doing in the situation. Oh, and that's one thing that I also changed up here. Now that we go back to it, it's going to be up here. Because it builds positive leadership skills, character traits, and influential power that can be inspire peers in any given situation. I actually had more details in the sentence. I said, let me get this. Whether it be a young toddler going to school, civil rights activist, or activity involving collaboration. I actually changed that. I took that out just to make this sentence more cleaner because it's more repetitive. It's repetitive of what I'm trying to say. Every morning, and I believe we were right here, he consistently informed me to be a leader and lead by example. This is where we are. Of course, at the time I was striving to be the best. My mind was always set on recess, presents, or food. It was not until I matured that I began to open my mind and see through my mistakes. I practiced football every day with my father. At the time, my age had opened up more freedoms, allowing me to play tackle football for my middle school. I actually added this comma and said allowing. Oops, let me fix that. Said allowing to connect this sentence better. I actually had, let me go back to my old examples here. Open up for more freedom. Up more freedom. And I put a period. And I said I was able to play football and actually connected it just to have a better flow. Game day eventually comes, and with it my determination to win. As we played, my father's word clicked, leader. I actually changed the sentence up a little bit. I had this as words, and I didn't say leader. I took the S off a word and was more specific by saying leader because being specific is better to the reader. Our team was losing. We desperately needed inspiration. I stepped up and started to cheer my teammates on with compassion. Eventually, I had my entire football team cheering and shouting out possible coverage strategies that would prevent the opposing team from scoring. The game eventually comes to a close, and with it a loss, unfortunately. Although we had lost, failure allowed me to realize the importance of remembering to be a leader because it allowed valuable skill sets to be learned, which is one of my thesis points. I applied this concept to all tasks, and all tasks is very important. As a result, I drastically improved grades, became a leader to my organizations, and built healthy friendships. Healthy friendships. Excuse me. Another example is my father, who has been an inspiration to me ever since I was born. Financially, we struggled, sometimes forcing my father to go without eating in order to feed me. At the time, he worked as a custodian at Point 8 Power, an engineering facility in New Orleans. My father always told me he was always vigilantly watched. That doesn't make sense right here. My father always told me he always vigilantly watched. Okay, that does. What engineers were tinkering on, asking questions when gaps seemed too wide and broad. One day, news came there was an opportunity for untrained workers to become an electrical engineer. The task was set. Whomever could fix the air conditioning unit the fastest would proceed to a possible chance of becoming an electrical engineer. Through determination and past information learned, through doing the unthinkable, my father won. That day, he had become an engineer, not because of luck, but by leading and taking action. Without my father's teachings, I would not be the same man I am today. In addition to being positive skills, to building positive skills, this was just another one of my thesis points, or the same thesis points. I'm sorry. Remembering the word leader builds great character. This is the next thesis point. Um, Being taught at an early age allowed me to grow and become more mature and wise. As I began to become more involved, I tried to be a leader in every task. Once again, I earned the position of the highest chair in band. It allowed me to gain knowledge while teaching beginners simultaneously. Go ahead, save my changes. Remembering the word leader is important because it builds positive influential power to inspire others. For example, a toddler named Jack is going to elementary school. With the mind frame, teachings, and intention to be a leader, he leads by example. Jack makes excellent grades, respects others, and is a lead singer in his school choir. Eventually, he inspires other students to be the leader, to be like the leader, I'm sorry, which was Jack in this case. Another example of how remembering the word leader builds positive influential power is when I was first chair in the trumpet section of the symphonic orchestra, a combination of brass and wind instruments. I actually was more specific. This wasn't here at first. I led my section to success. In addition, I also inspired lower level amateurs. I also added this to be more specific as well, to do better. I had amateurs taken off. I just had lower levels to do better. I added that because I felt that being more specific once again allows the reader or the audience to connect better to what the author is trying to say, which is me. However, the word leader can be applied with a negative connotation, thus making the word irrelevant or not good to remember. For example, Hitler was a leader to his country during dire times. Although he attempted to raise his country and his people from the abyss it had fallen into as a result of World War I, it was executed with hatred. I actually had incomplacency. I took that off because it was incoherent with what I was trying to say. He initiated World War II and inspired all to blame German failure on Jewish peoples. I'm going to go ahead and add on to that, be more specific. Hunting them like game and enslaving them in concentration camps. Eventually, Germany's power had spread across Europe, devouring everything in its path. However, Allies prevailed and pushed back Axis powers. It is possible to have a negative connotation of the word leader, and Hitler's leadership falls under irrelevant connotation of the word. Although it involves a single leader, many view the I skipped the word. Skip the whole sentence. In addition, nations categorized as a dictatorship or absolute power of any kind can be debated. Although it involves a single leader, many view this type of government as negatively when compared to a democracy. In this case, if the leader has good intentions, the word leader is good to use. But if the leader has bad intentions, the word leader is no longer irrelevant. Is no longer relevant. Excuse me. I also added this sentence just to make this ending more positive, but I also tried to do that as well in the conclusion. Nevertheless, the word leader is usually more positive than negative. It is important to remember the word leader with a positive connotation because it builds positive influence, skills, and character traits in any given situation. Basically, going back to my thesis in the beginning of the essay. Remembering the word allows positive influence, not only to grow as a person, but also to inspire and help others grow as well. In addition, the examples given in the above text demonstrate and shows how remembering to be a leader built my influence. I had my other examples of Jack and my influence on others to excel and do better. However, with negative connotation, the word leader can be irrelevant, which basically goes back to my counter argument. I'm sorry. Although there are a myriad of other positive words and phrases to remember and use, the word leader, in my personal opinion, resonates most to me. And that's everything, folks. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in. This is Carlos White signing off.